David Harper, the CEO of SkyWave Airlines, boarded one of his company's flights unassumingly, dressed in casual attire that gave no hint of his influential status. As part of his routine inspections, David frequently traveled incognito to personally experience the service provided to passengers and assess the quality firsthand. On this particular flight, he took his seat in first class, ready for what he thought would be a smooth and uneventful trip. However, he soon encountered Anna, a flight attendant with a sharp attitude. From the moment she checked his ticket, her demeanor was dismissive, her tone curt, and her actions laced with quiet disdain. Anna, oblivious to David's true identity, appeared to judge him based solely on his understated appearance. Despite her passive-aggressive comments and unwelcoming behavior, David chose to remain composed, observing the situation rather than reacting. Little did Anna know her behavior was setting the stage for an encounter that would forever change the course of her career. As David Harper stepped into the first-class cabin of the SkyWave Airlines flight, he was met by Anna, a flight attendant whose demeanor was far from welcoming. Her sharp eyes scanned him from head to toe, clearly judging his casual appearance, which included a simple jacket and jeans. David handed her his ticket with a polite smile, but her reaction was less than professional. "Is this really your seat, sir?" Anna asked, her tone tinged with skepticism. The way she emphasized the word really made it clear she doubted he belonged in first class. "Yes, it is," David responded calmly, maintaining his composure as he handed her the ticket again. Anna scrutinized it for what felt like an unnecessarily long time before reluctantly handing it back. "Very well, sir," she said, her voice laced with a forced politeness that barely masked her irritation. As she walked away, David couldn't help but notice her muttering something under her breath, though he chose not to address it. Taking his seat, David began to settle in, but it quickly became clear that Anna wasn't done. Throughout the boarding process, she cast disapproving glances in his direction, her body language radiating annoyance and disdain. To David, it was obvious she had formed a negative impression of him based solely on appearances. Despite her behavior, David remained calm and observant. This wasn't the first time he had encountered someone quick to judge, but given that Anna was representing his airline, the incident felt personal. He decided to wait and see how the rest of the flight unfolded, already making mental notes about her lack of professionalism and the potential impact on the airline's reputation. As the flight reached cruising altitude, David Harper, seated quietly in first class, decided to order a drink. Anna, the flight attendant whose attitude had been less than professional since boarding, approached his row with an icy expression. "What would you like to drink?" she asked curtly, her tone devoid of the courtesy expected in customer service. "I'll have a Coke, please," David replied politely, ignoring her obvious irritation. Anna paused, her eyes narrowing as if she couldn't believe what she'd just heard. "A Coke," she scoffed, rolling her eyes dramatically. "Sir, we offer a selection of fine wines and premium cocktails in first class. Are you sure that's what you want?" "Yes," David confirmed, maintaining his calm demeanor. "A Coke will be fine." Her expression hardened further as she reached for a can of Coke from the cart. With exaggerated motions, she poured the drink into a glass, her disdain unmistakable. As David extended his hand to take the glass, Anna leaned in slightly and, to his shock, tilted the can, pouring the fizzy drink directly onto his face and shirt. "Oh my goodness," Anna said flatly, her voice devoid of sincerity. "Looks like the glass slipped." David, now drenched, grabbed a napkin to wipe his face. His calm expression betrayed a simmering anger, but he didn't respond immediately. Anna, however, seemed to revel in the moment. As she walked back to the cart, she leaned toward a colleague and whispered just loud enough for David to hear, "Some people really don't know their place in first class." Her colleague glanced at David uneasily but didn't respond. David sat silently, his mind racing. While the incident was humiliating, he knew this was a pivotal moment. As the owner of the airline, he had witnessed not just a lapse in professionalism, but an outright display of prejudice and disrespect behavior he could not and would not tolerate. Despite the humiliating incident, David Harper kept his composure. He knew reacting impulsively wouldn't resolve the deeper issue at hand. Instead, he waited until the flight was nearing its destination and then discreetly called over the chief flight attendant, Richard. "I'd like to request a meeting with the crew after we land," David said in a calm but firm tone. Richard, unaware of David's true identity, assumed it was a routine passenger complaint and agreed to arrange the meeting. Meanwhile, Anna smirked from a distance, dismissing David as a troublemaker, still oblivious to the gravity of her actions and who she had truly wronged. After the plane landed and the passengers began to disembark, David Harper remained seated, waiting for the crew to gather as requested. Anna approached him with an impatient expression. "Sir, the flight is over." "You can exit now," she said curtly. "Actually, I have a meeting here," David replied calmly. "I'll need to speak with the crew." Anna shrugged dismissively, still clueless about who he really was, and walked away. Soon, the chief flight attendant, Richard, gathered the crew near the cabin. David stood, retrieved a business card from his pocket, and handed it to Richard. As Richard read the card, his expression shifted from confusion to sheer panic. Written boldly on it was the name David Harper, CEO of SkyWave Airlines. Anna, standing a few feet away, noticed the change in Richard's demeanor and craned her neck to see what had caused it. When she caught sight of the card, her face turned pale. "Wait, you're the owner of the airline," she stammered, her voice trembling. David turned his calm yet firm gaze toward Anna. "That's right," he replied. "I'm here to evaluate the service provided to our passengers. Unfortunately, what I experienced today was not just unprofessional, it was completely unacceptable." Anna's composure shattered as she realized the magnitude of her mistake. David Harper faced Anna with a calm yet authoritative demeanor, his words cutting straight to the point. "Your behavior today was not only unprofessional but also deeply disrespectful," he began. "Every passenger, regardless of appearance or status, deserves to be treated with dignity and respect." Anna, visibly panicked, tried to explain. "Sir, I didn't know who you were. It was a mistake." "That's irrelevant," David interrupted firmly. "This isn't about who I am, it's about how you treat people. Your actions today, from your dismissive tone to pouring a drink on me and making derogatory remarks, were unacceptable and go against everything this airline stands for." Anna's face turned red as she fumbled for excuses. "I didn't mean to." David raised a hand, stopping her mid-sentence. "Your conduct reflects a clear lack of professionalism and prejudice, and I cannot allow that to continue in my company. Effective immediately, you are no longer employed by SkyWave Airlines." The room fell silent as Anna absorbed the weight of his words. Defeated, she lowered her head and walked away, fully aware that her actions had cost her the job. Meanwhile, the remaining crew members exchanged uneasy glances, clearly impacted by the decisive confrontation. As Anna gathered her belongings, her face was flushed with humiliation. The weight of her actions and their consequences bore down on her as she walked out of the cabin, her head lowered in defeat. She understood all too well that her behavior had cost her the job and tarnished her reputation. The remaining crew members stood silently, the tension in the air palpable. Watching the swift and firm action taken by David Harper, they were visibly shaken, realizing the gravity of their responsibility as representatives of the airline. For many, it was a sobering moment, a reminder of the importance of treating every passenger with respect and professionalism, regardless of appearances or assumptions. After Anna's departure, David Harper addressed the remaining crew with a calm but firm tone. "As employees of SkyWave Airlines, you represent the heart and soul of this company," he began. "Our success is built on respect, integrity, and excellence, values that must be upheld with every interaction, no matter who the passenger is or where they come from." He paused, scanning the room to ensure his message was understood. "The behavior I witnessed today was unacceptable and has no place in this company. Prejudice and disrespect undermine everything we stand for, and I will not tolerate it." The crew members nodded solemnly, visibly moved by his words. "Remember, every passenger deserves to feel valued and welcomed. That's the standard we must deliver every day," David concluded, his tone resolute. With that, he left the plane, confident his message had made an impact. David Harper stepped off the plane with a sense of satisfaction, confident that he had addressed the issue firmly and fairly. The events of the flight had not only served as a wake-up call for the crew, but also reinforced the importance of respect and dignity as core values of SkyWave Airlines. By taking decisive action, David ensured that such behavior would not be tolerated in his company. Both the crew and the passengers had witnessed a powerful lesson in professionalism and integrity, one that would resonate long after the flight had ended. This story is a reminder of the importance of respect, integrity, and treating others with dignity, regardless of appearances or assumptions. It's these values that create a better world for all of us. If you believe in standing up for what's right and ensuring fairness for everyone, join us by subscribing to our channel. Support stories that inspire, motivate, and celebrate resilience and kindness. Your voice matters in building a community that values human decency and respect. Don't forget to like, share, and comment to let us know your thoughts, and stay tuned for more powerful narratives that leave a lasting impact. Together, let's promote the change we want to see.